Yeah, dude, we gotta get that gun off. It's so kill Thomas. Like we killed Eli, shot yourself with it.
That was like my first time getting shot.
So you're saying you didn't have any sort of plans to help rob him?
I was scared for my life because Rico is a crazy ass dude.
This is Christopher Byers, lying in a hospital bed after shooting a 16-year-old, and himself in the foot, still claiming he was just a bystander, completely unaware that detectives already have videos and voice messages exposing his lies.
How come I have a lot of voice messages back and forth between you and Eli talking about planning this? How you were gonna shoot him in the back when you were in the car?
I want you to tell me where the gun is at. It looks like Grandma's bathroom, the little video we made with the gun.
Now, Chris will do everything he can to shift the blame onto the only two people detectives can't question: a fugitive friend and his dead cousin.
Who really shot Thomas?
Eli.
I mean, that's easy to pin on Eli, man. Eli's dead now.
And Rico shot the rest of the bullets.
What does it look like? It looks like you are a ruthless killer. You had zero remorse for what you did.
On January 23, 2021, deputies with the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office discovered the body of 16-year-old Thomas Nunn in an open field on the southwest mesa of Albuquerque, New Mexico. He had been shot during what investigators quickly determined was a robbery. Detectives soon learned that Nunn had arranged to meet two young men he knew through social media, Christopher Byers and his cousin Elias Acuna Whitley, supposedly to trade ammunition and firearms. Instead, Nunn was shot and left in the field, and his car and gun were taken. Just 2 days earlier, Elias died in a separate shooting, leaving Christopher Byers as the only surviving person who knew exactly what happened that night. But before detectives could get their answers, Chris was recovering in the hospital after being shot in another incident. So investigators visited him, hoping to find out how a simple gun deal ended with a teenager dead in the desert.
And the other thing is I want you to tell me where the gun is at. Not the revolver that went with Savannah. Where's the 45 at? Because it is not with Andres. We know that for a fact. Is it at Willie's or Grandma's? What's that? Willie's or Grandma's? Because it looks like Grandma's bathroom. It looks like Grandma's bathroom, the little video we made with the gun. It matches the same gun that this gentleman here has from Thomas's Snapchat of him taking pictures of the gun that was taken from him. Again, violently. So, that stuff doesn't disappear. I hope you understand.
I know what I disappeared.
Okay. And again, I have confidence that you're going to say the truth. I really do.
I'm just saying the truth.
So is it the gun at Grandma's house, or is it Willie's? Or did one of your family get rid of it for you?
Tell you the truth. I think it's at my uncle's.
Your Uncle Willie's house?
I think. Because he sometimes when he just takes from me.
So, what makes you think it's at Uncle's house
Because
and not Grandma's? Why is it that Uncle is also telling us that they think it's Cash that shot you?
Because Cash was my cousin, my whole family when I wasn't there at my grandma's.
Uh-huh.
You know, was staying over there at my uncle's because of all the arguments and all that.
Uh-huh.
They say they seen Cash around the block, and he was like looking towards my grandma's way.
Okay. So they were trying to protect you, but Cash was still thinking you were over off Texas address? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you take, okay, be honest with me. Did you take the gun with you to protect yourself because you thought Cash was with you over to your uncle's house?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
have nothing.
So when we go to confront your uncle about this, to ask about the 45, which we need, okay? It's undisputable.
Just for reference, the .45 caliber gun was the weapon taken from Thomas the night he was killed. And every time the 45 comes up, Chris suddenly remembers a brand new version of events. In this moment, he claims that his Uncle Willie took the 45 from him, which is interesting because in an earlier interview, he gave detectives a completely different story about that same gun.
How many guns did Eli have that night besides the 22?
Eli had a 22.
So the Eli had the 22 that night.
Rico had a 45, he said, but he sold it to somebody because he needed some money back, he said.
You know who he sold it to?
Sold it to one of his homies, but he didn't tell me what homie.
Okay.
Because he said he sold it off of Snapchat.
Okay.
As you can see, according to his original story, some guy named Rico had the stolen gun and supposedly sold it. But luckily for detectives, in this same conversation, Chris revealed something even more interesting, which would later turn out to be completely wrong.
So you guys go out to the field, and what happens when you're in the field?
We was walking and I told Thomas where we gonna shoot the guns at.
Mm-hmm.
And he said just right here. And when he was shooting, he passed the 45 to Rico.
Okay, so what guns did he have?
He had that Ruger
Okay,
with the extendo, the 15.
all right.
And he had that 22.
Okay, how many times did Thomas shoot it?
He shot it 3 times. And he passed the gun to Rico.
Okay, so then Rico gets the gun, and what happens?
Once Rico got the gun, I seen Eli pulling out the 22 out of his right pocket.
Okay, so Elias had the gun?
Yes.
Okay.
Because Thomas let Eli hold the 22 more.
Okay, when did he give him that gun?
When we met up with him. Because he always be like, here, Eli, and just give him the gun. And Eli just be holding it.
Okay, so Thomas gave Eli the gun and said hold on to it when you guys first met?
Yes.
Is there any reason why?
No, sir. I don't know why he do that. I'm being honest.
Okay, so Elias then knows that Rico has Thomas's other gun,
Yes.
and Elias shoots him?
Yes.
Where does he shoot him?
And right here in the face with the 22.
Like, how far away was he when he shot him?
Not that far. Because when Rico had a 4.5, Thomas stepped back,
Mm-hmm.
and Eli was right here. And Thomas turned around and Eli shot him in the face.
Okay. How many times did Elias shoot him?
4 to 5 times. And Rico shot the rest of the bullets to the field.
Okay, and he shot the 45 or he shot the 22?
The 4.5.
Okay, and he shot Thomas with the 45?
Yes.
Do you know how many times he shot him?
No, because when Thomas shot 3, I didn't know how much the rest was in the clip, and he just finished them off.
So he shot it to lockback?
Yeah.
Okay, and you watched him actually shoot Thomas?
I watched Eli shot him in the face
Uh-huh.
the first 4 times, and I ran back to the car and got scared.
Trying to explain how Rico supposedly ended up with the 45, Chris and his 2 remaining brain cells come up with a brilliant idea. He tells detectives he ran back to the car because he was so scared, while Eli and Rico were busy shooting Thomas. Yeah, sure. But detectives have already noticed how strange Chris's story sounds, and after 2 interviews full of contradictions, they decide to give him one more chance to tell the truth.
Now's the time for you to be honest, Chris. I know a lot of stuff. You've done a lot of work. I've read a lot of reports. I've read a lot of reading a lot of warrants. I've got a lot of stuff back. Can you tell me about your involvement in this? Okay. We'll start from the beginning. How did you meet Thomas? Off of Eli?
Eli let him off of Instagram.
Off of Instagram, okay. And how did they meet? Like,
I think they was talking.
okay.
And Thomas wanted to buy bullets, and Eli said he could get bullets for him and all that.
Okay. What kind of bullets? Or what kind of gun?
4.5 and 22.
Another 22? Okay.
And they was trading off different bullets and all that because Eli's uncle needed some bullets and Thomas had 9 bullets for him for his uncle and all that.
Okay, so Thomas was going to trade Eli's 9mm ammo for 45 and 22?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many times have they met up and hung out?
5, 6 times.
5, 6 times? Okay. So where did the plan come up to rob Thomas?
Rico
From Rico? Okay, and how did Rico meet Thomas?
from Eli.
From Eli? Okay. Why rob him? What did he have that they want so bad?
Because Rico wanted his car. Rico wanted the guns too.
So Rico wanted the guns?
The guns in his standard car.
Okay. So why was he so interested in a 2005 Ford Focus now? That thing's not worth anything. Like, what was his plan, you think? Like, how was he gonna
keep it, he said.
like, how did he plan on keeping it? You didn't think it would ever, show up as stolen? No? Okay.
Because he like I said last time, he tried to change the license plates, take care of the car, he said, and he wanted to keep it, so he could work on it and take it out of town and all that.
Okay. So then, let's talk specifically, I guess, the day that Thomas dies. So that's Saturday, right? Okay. So how was the plan? How did you guys all come together?
Eli and Rico was texting off the Instagram.
Okay, so Eli's texting Rico? Okay.
He said, he told him the time was him and Rico was going to rob him. And it was texting off of Instagram, long paragraphs and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And Eli keep on telling Rico to be ready and all that.
Okay. What about you? What was your involvement?
I was there, but I was not planning it because I wanted to go to the party and see my girl, because I want to take my girl to the movies.
So you're saying you didn't have any sort of plans to help rob him? Well,
because I was trying to tell them kids they could take me to my girl and go to a party because my girl know a couple of addicts out here.
mm-hmm.
And sometimes I use it to get some parties and all that.
Back to the wrong place at the wrong time strategy again. If playing dumb was a prize game, Chris would probably be pretty rich by now. The only problem was that he lied so many times he could no longer remember what he said and when. But luckily, the detectives were there to remind him. And as you're about to see, he will be pretty surprised when detectives confront him with the real evidence.
Okay, so then how come I have a lot of voice messages back and forth between you and Eli talking about planning this? How you were going to shoot him in the back when you were in the car. How that there was going to be a lot of blood in it and that Rico was going to have to clean it up. That's not you?
I was texting, I was using the voicemail, but I wasn't trying to do that.
Okay, so who were you referring to when you said you were going to shoot him in the back? And you'd have to use a 45 because the 22 wasn't strong enough to get through the seat. I have you now, Chris. I have everything I need.
I know you guys got it.
Okay? So this is the opportunity where you come clean and be honest about what your role is. Because when you just sit here and lie, it looks horrible for you. When this goes to a jury, and I say, here's all my evidence that I have that he planned this, and he sits here lying about every little bit, and I show him, here's all the voice messages, here's the text messages, here's all the stuff that led up to this, what does it look like? It looks like you are a ruthless, you had zero remorse for what you did. Now, if you can be upfront and honest about what you did and what you planned and why you did it, it probably helps you. I think his family probably deserved enough respect to know what happened to their son. It's not fair that they're going to sit here and I'm going to have to go and tell them, hey, the guy who did this just said he doesn't know. He wasn't there. He didn't plan it.
Because I didn't plan it like that.
And so, then explain to me, what did it mean when you said, I'm going to shoot him in the back through the seat? Who are you referring to? That's your voice, man. That's on your Facebook, or through your grandma's anyways. But when your messages start off like, hey, this is Chris. I have all of them. I have everything.
Among my patients, I often see them have T sensitivity as well as gum issues. Does it worry me?
It was fun that
sensitivity and gum gives us a dual action effect that really takes care of both our T sensitivity as well as our gum issues.
I didn't want to do it anymore. I tried. I was trying to stop. I didn't want to do it anymore. I say that to him, but I stopped.
Yeah? At what point did you decide to stop? Because it happens pretty much right up to the time it happens. Talking about using basically a burner phone, you have to use the Wi-Fi phone. Talking about leave them there and then run off as soon as you can, and you have to put on your hoodie and walk off. You guys talk about this stuff.
Because after that, Eli's the one that wanted to do it.
So Eli still wanted to do it even though you and him planned on it? So at which point, when did you decide that you want to do something?
When the party was happening. I didn't want to do it anymore. Like I swear, I'm not lying.
So if you didn't want to do it anymore, why didn't you come forward? Why didn't you report any of this? Why not come up and say, hey, I witnessed a murder?
I was scared for my life because Rico was a crazy ass dude.
Unfortunately for Chris, detectives hear the I was just afraid story about 20 times a week, and it almost never comes from the innocent guy. On top of that very clear lie, there is another problem. Chris realized that detectives had strong evidence against him, and instead of just admitting what he did, he decided to try once again to turn himself into the victim.
Because he's the one that shot at me over there at the apartments in Columbus and Anderson.
Yeah, well, that's after you said that. That was before, right? That's days after this happened. And like I asked you, when Thomas didn't have that 22 to start with. I know Eli had it. Eli tells you about having it. Eli's got that. What does he say specifically? I think it's like, I got this long ass barrel 22, like I'm in a Western or something like that. So Thomas had the 22, or not Thomas. Eli had the 22 to start with. That's Eli's gun. That wasn't Thomas's. So why have you told me that it belonged to Thomas?
It did belong to him because Thomas had it when he first started off with it.
No, this is days before it happens.
I'm telling you, Thomas had it. Eli didn't keep it on him.
So then how come Eli in a voice message sent to you says, I got this 22, and this is before Thomas's murder? Why is Eli telling you that? How does Eli know specifically what that gun was and what kind it was?
Because he always passed it to Eli. I'm telling you, because Thomas always passed it to him and Eli getting caught.
So Eli kept it for a while?
He didn't catch it for a while because every time when he's in the car and Thomas dropped him off at home, he went never dead.
Doesn't sound like Thomas is with him in the messages.
I'm telling you the truth, though.
But here's the thing, that you haven't told me the truth. You haven't told me the truth about a lot. And I'm catching you in all your lies. And I've caught you in a lot of your lies. And that's why you're having such a hard time remembering what you told me, or what happened, or where you were, or who you were with. Because you're lying at every opportunity you get. Like I told you, this is the opportunity for yourself right now to come back and tell me the truth about everything. No more lying, man. Who really shot Thomas?
Eli.
I mean, that's easy to pin on Eli, man. Eli's dead now.
No,
and I'm sorry,
but
I don't mean to sound rude, but like, Thomas is dead too, and someone killed him. And here you are in your messages talking about killing him. You say you're going to shoot him in the back. You say that you're going to use the full 5, and that Rico's going to have to clean the car because it's going to be full of blood. And lo and behold, Thomas dies. Thomas is killed. I have you telling me you're going to do it.
Not answering his radio or cell.
What are our options?
That 45 wasn't with your uncle.
My uncle and my other uncle got it because both of them was talking about keeping it. You know Willie?
Mm-hmm.
Now my other uncle Willie that drives a truck. Willie that stayed with my grandma.
So why didn't you clarify that first? Why didn't you say that Willie?
Because Uncle Willie took the gun and he was talking to him before all this, before you guys came and all that.
Well, we have the gun. That gun's gonna match the casings on the scene. Your shoe print is gonna match the shoe print that's out there.
Notice how Chris drops his gaze the second the detectives tell him they have the 45 in their possession. You don't need an IQ of 200 to realize he wasn't exactly thrilled to hear that. I mean, can you blame him? Now detectives can prove who shot Thomas and how it happened.
And I guarantee you, if I go talk to Rico and I talk to him, he's going to say he wasn't there and he wasn't involved. Isn't that right?
He was up there.
Yeah, but is he going to say that?
I don't know where he at because he said he going to lay it low because after I got shot, I was on the phone with my girl and I said what that nigga Rico said. She said he going to lay it low after that. Because when I got shot and I seen the car that was driving past my grandma, driving past my grandma's what my sister said when she was up here. I was standing on my grandma's place in a blue Honda with the monster stickers on it.
So why did they shoot you?
I don't know, because I told Rico to come. Rico told me to come outside, and I was outside. He said he was around the corner from Derek and right there by Columbus.
Why would Rico shoot you? What motivation does he have? What does he gain by shooting you?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I felt like it was a setup when I was outside. My sister told me to don't go, but I didn't listen.
So what did you guys take from Thomas? So I know it wasn't just the car and the guns. What else did you guys get from him?
We didn't take nothing.
You didn't take anything from him?
No, I swear.
So you just shot him and took his car?
Those 2 guns.
Okay, so why wouldn't you guys just like scare him? Why did you guys have to kill him to take his car?
I didn't want to do that to him.
Well,
Eli.
Here's the thing. You're telling me that now, but your messages leading up to it tell me you absolutely wanted to kill him. That you wanted to shoot him.
I didn't want to kill him because Eli don't want to fight no more. That's what he told me.
Said, I'm going to sit in the back, you sit in the front.
We went to the Addy after that.
Eli just need to get dropped off at his house.
We didn't do none of that. Rico wanted to keep the car. That's the thing. Rico was texting Eli's phone because he wanted to keep the car. And I told him why. He didn't tell me why, he just wanted the car.
So how many guys kept hanging out in it? You guys were in the car like 3 days after. Just chilling at your house like nothing ever happened. What was that about?
Rico wanted to drop us off. And we didn't have nowhere to go because me and my cousin were staying on the street. And I can't go to none of his family's house because there's a whole bunch of drama with them and all that. They still try to get their life situated. And his uncle teaching little Eli to rob people and all that. Because every time when he be with his uncle, he talk about his uncle doesn't always have licks for him.
So who shot Eli, man?
Who shot Eli? Who?
Because I think you know more than you're saying.
I really don't. I was on the phone. I'm telling you the truth. I was on the phone with my girl and I was looking out the left side of the window. And I heard a gunshot and I looked out towards Eli and Eli was dead.
And who was with you guys?
It was Savannah and that other lady.
And who else?
Rico. I'm telling you the truth, officer.
Whenever someone feels the need to announce they're telling the truth, that's usually a pretty good sign they're not. And let me tell you something. According to Chris, he somehow didn't see who shot Eli because he was looking at his phone. Does that story sound familiar? Because it's almost identical to the one he told about Thomas's murder.
You already lied to me so much that it's hard to believe what you tell me. Because you lied about being involved in the planning. You lied about where the gun went.
My uncle wanted, my uncle said he gonna pay me like $300. He showed me a check of $4,000 because I didn't know what he be doing.
So you were gonna sell the gun to your uncle?
I wasn't going to sell it to him. He just took it.
And you said he showed you that he wanted to buy it, so was your plan to sell it? What was your plan to do with it?
What is it to someone else? Well, I didn't want to give it to him. He put his hand down and said, give it to me.
So who took the gun from the place over on Gun Club? Who took it after Thomas got shot? You did? So you told me that Rico had the gun originally, that Thomas handed it to him.
Rico did have the gun for a couple of days.
Okay, so let's start again. So you guys get over there to Gun Club. You get out of the car. Who's out there? And this is your time to be honest and think about your future and what you're telling me.
It was Rico.
Mm-hmm.
There was a girl.
And who's that?
Daisy, the one I was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Me and Eli and Tommy.
Okay. And so all of you get out of the car?
No, his girl stayed in the car.
Okay. Which car are you guys in?
I was in the Ford Focus in Thomas' car.
Okay, so you're in Thomas's car? Who else was in Thomas's car?
It was me and Eli because he didn't trust Rico like that. He don't like Rico.
Okay, so then Rico and Daisy are in their car?
No.
And that's Ford Fusion?
It's a small Ford car.
Okay, so you guys get out there. What happens when you get out there?
He was waiting for the Addy and all that. Thomas wanted to shoot his gun.
Okay, so did you guys go to that party or no? Because you told me originally you went to a party and then left.
They went to the first party, but we went to the second party because the first party got born.
Okay, so you guys leave the first party, and that's when you guys go out there?
Yeah.
Okay. Whose idea was it to go out there? Rico?
No, it wasn't Rico. It was Eli.
So Eli planned to go out there?
Yeah.
Okay, so Eli's probably planning to go out there and shoot him, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you guys go out there. You park. You guys get out of the car? Where do you guys park?
That's about it.
I guess still on the road or in the
dirt? Inside, like outside, right here, close to the street.
Okay, so you guys are on the roadway there?
Yeah.
Okay, and then who gets out of the car?
Rico get out of his girl's car.
Mm-hmm.
Eli got out. And Thomas got out because I was still texting the people for the party and all that.
Okay.
And when he wanted to shoot his gun, all of us got out.
Okay, so you guys all get out. And then you guys walk over there? So the four of you are over there?
Huh?
The four of you are over there in that area? Okay, what happens?
Rico, no, not Rico, but Thomas Thomas wants to shoot his gun right there.
Okay, which gun is that?
4-5.
Okay, so Thomas is shooting his 45. Okay, who has the 22?
Eli.
Eli's got the 22. Okay, so Thomas shoots his gun how many times?
3.
Like 3 times? Okay, what happens?
He handed it to me.
He handed it to you? Okay.
Eli shot him in the face.
And then Eli shot him in the face?
Yeah, as soon as he handed it to me.
Okay, so then what happens then?
Shot him a couple times with that. Rico and ran. Rico, Eli, and he ran back to the car.
Mm-hmm.
And his girl was there the whole time. And she scudded off. And Rico wanted to go pick up his girl after me.
So obviously, by now, Chris realizes he can't keep pretending he wasn't there. That ship sailed about 10 contradictions ago. But admitting he was present doesn't mean admitting what actually happened. And you might notice that in his brand new version of events, he somehow forgot to mention Rico shooting Thomas with the 45. At this point, it doesn't really matter to Chris what he says, as long as it pushes the responsibility further away from him.
So then you, Rico, and Eli are in the car, the Focus. And where do you guys go?
To his girl's house.
To which girl's house?
Daisy's house. Rico's girl.
Okay, where is that? Now's the time to be honest about where she lives. Where does she live?
Right there on San Pedro. Like, behind the turtleneck.
Mm-hmm.
Make a right, be right there at the first apartment.
Okay, is that really the apartment she lives at? 'Cause that's when you showed us earlier. Is that truly where she lives?
Yeah, once you pass the car lot and all that, you go down and it's going to be the first right at those apartments.
So it's on the right-hand side?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's her apartment? Who does she live there with?
Rico.
So her and Rico live there together? Anyone else?
Just Rico and her.
How long have they lived there?
For like years, I think. Because she don't let me in like that.
Okay. So how come you originally told me that Rico was the one who had the gun?
Because Rico had it for a couple of days.
And then when you told me after Thomas got shot, you said Rico had the gun, that Thomas gave it to Rico. You told me Rico said he shot him. So Rico didn't shoot him, did he?
Rico wanted to.
But Rico didn't, right?
No.
Okay, so why did you tell me Rico shot him? What's that?
Mom,
You lied?
I'm sorry. And all after that happened, after he chilled with his girl for a bit, and he wanted some liquor so he could get drunk. But he couldn't find no storage that was open and all that. And he took us back home.
So Eli took him back home? So then did Eli hold on to the whip?
No, Rico just dropped us off in the parking lot and left with his girl inside the car.
So how'd you guys get home?
Rico.
So Rico dropped you off at your house?
At my grandma's.
And then where did the car stay?
At Rico's house. At his girl's house. And then he gave the keys to Savannah and Savannah. Because Rico said, here, I want them keys no more. And he was chilling up there at that girl's house while Eli was getting the face tattoo. And he didn't want the keys no more. He gave it to Savannah and Savannah kept it.
Okay, so that was at Daisy's house?
Yeah.
That's a video of Eli sitting there talking about getting ready to get his face tatted. Okay, so you have been in that apartment then? So you have been in that apartment then, right?
Like once.
Like once?
Yeah, like outside of the apartment. I never been inside.
It was your video.
Huh?
It was your video, wasn't it? Of you recording Eli talking about getting his face tatted?
Yeah.
So you've been inside that apartment?
Once, that was the first night I've been in
So which apartment is it?
Savannah's home.
Is that who it was? Is that whose apartment it was?
Wait a second. A minute ago, this was Daisy's apartment, Rico's girlfriend. Now, all of a sudden, it's Savannah's place. That's the problem with building a story out of lies. Eventually, you run out of room to keep them straight. And why on earth did Chris think it was important for the entire investigation to know where Eli got his face tattoo? Oh, right. Probably because he thought if he kept throwing out enough random details, detectives might start thinking he was actually cooperating.
So in this apartment complex right here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Which apartment is it?
I'm here.
When you go up the stairs and you make those few turns
On the left side or the right side?
on the right side.
Okay, so you're gonna come to the further one more east.
No, the left side. I mean the left
Okay,
side.
so here's walking into it.
Bellamy's a liar. Let's go. Maybe Karen Switz is number one.
Okay, that's facing straight onto the apartment when you drive into the parking lot.
Why aren't they moving?
Which side?
You got it on the train, Sam?
To the
I
right.
see it.
To the right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said it's upstairs?
Yes.
Which apartment?
The second apartment it's the second apartment when you open the door and the door swings all the way to the left, I think. And you have to go around the door.
Okay, you're on the left side or the right side?
It's the right side.
So second door in from that door is where she lives?
Yeah.
And that's Ari?
Yes.
Okay.
Sam?
Where is the comment? Because there's a message where you talk about taking it to your girl's house and dropping it there in the garage or in the backyard.
I didn't want to drop that car over there.
Okay, so whose house were you talking about when you said we would have to park it in the garage or in the backyard?
They was you and Rico was trying to figure out what he gonna do with it.
Okay. Why did you say you were gonna go there?
To this year,
No, you said you were gonna put it in the garage or in the backyard. What were you talking about?
I was talking about something else.
What were you talking about?
I wasn't talking about the car.
Okay, what were you talking about?
Some other car.
Some other car? Is that Nissan?
No.
Well, it's best you tell me the truth that it is right now, otherwise I'm gonna go head up check on whatever stolen things are in that garage or in that backyard.
Because I didn't take it to none of her house because I don't want Rico to take the car over.
So
Rico was the one who was trying to figure out what he was going to do with it.
So what were you talking about? Talking about that house.
I was talking about the other car that I had.
Which one is that?
Another Honda, blue color, but not dark.
So another G-Ride?
Yeah, I was talking about that. I wasn't talking about the other car because I told Rico, when Eli told him, you got to do something with that car. Rico just wanted to keep it.
You took a G-Ride to your girl's house, or your plan was to take it to your girl's house. Did you ever take it there?
To just see her and that's it.
So you went there and then left in it?
He didn't have to.
Or
Rico kept it and took it to his girl's house.
so Rico keeps all the G-Rides or what?
He told me he had 2 G-Rides. That car, and when I texted him again, he said he had a Nissan.
The red one?
He didn't tell me what color, he just said Nissan with the bathroom doors on the side.
Okay, which Nissan are you talking about? A red one? With the sunroof, an SUV.
No, it was a SUV that somebody else stole right there in the parking lot of my grandma's house.
Okay. So you're gonna try and take it too?
I was trying, but I didn't get it, honestly. Because I changed my mind on that. And I seen those other people, some random other people driving this exit street. Like 4 other people and what one black firefighter was doing something.
So you have no clue where that Focus is?
No, I'm telling you the truth. Because once Rico gives the keys to Savannah, I don't know what to do with it. Like, I'm telling you the truth.
The problem is, when someone keeps insisting they're telling the truth while their story keeps changing, detectives usually take that as a pretty strong sign of the exact opposite. But the longer this interview drags on, the more exhausted Chris looks, and it won't be much longer before his story completely falls apart.
So you are being charged. So you do have charges. You're being charged with an open count of murder. You're being charged with conspiracy to commit armed robbery. Being charged with armed robbery. And tampering with evidence.
I'm thinking that's interesting. You could choose on your own instinct. Yeah, I was just putting those final touches on.
What about the people that shot me, though?
They're still trying to figure that out too, but like I said, we're investigating that. That's APD's investigation that they're doing. So they're following up on everything we can, but like I said, the less you give us, and you just saying only a Rico and you don't know anything else about a Rico, that makes it hard, man.
Because Rico had long hair, long black hair, like up to his shoulders.
I mean, they'll follow those leads as much as they can, but a Rico with long black hair probably is hard to find.
He only be chilling with his girl or be chilling at the apartment.
Okay.
Because that's where his dad lives at.
Alright. Well,
And he ain't got nowhere else to go to.
I'll follow up with it, man. Like I said, we can prove he shot you with that. Where would he have gotten another gun from? You don't know.
One of his homies, because his homies got guns too.
And you think Cash shot you too?
That's what I think, because I seen like 2 cars.
So why do you think Cash would have shot you?
Because of the situation with Savannah that I put her in jail.
So you think Cash is mad at you because Savannah got hooked?
That's what I think. I'm not personally.
Well, like I said, we will continue following your case as far as we can. As far as you want to continue to cooperate, we continue working it. That's all that Detective Small knows. He'll keep working it. But that's where we're at now. So.
What Chris is trying to do here is shift the focus back to the people who shot him, or Rico, more specifically. But the problem is, the description he gave of Rico, a black guy with long hair, is pretty vague. If it feels like deep down he didn't really want detectives to find him, that's because he didn't. And he had a good reason for that. Rico was there that night Thomas was killed, and he could have told detectives who else, besides Eli, pulled the trigger. And it definitely wasn't him.
I wish you the best of luck in this. Like I said, hopefully, like I said, maybe come to whatever it may be and make a full admission to whatever it may have been when this comes to trial. Admit your wrongdoings, admit what you planned, admit what you said, admit what you did. And we'll see where it goes. All right. Is there anything you want me to tell Thomas's family? What do you want to tell them you're sorry for? So you shot him? Did you shoot him?
I hit him 2 times in the back with 45.
So you did shoot him 2 times in the 45? Thank you, man. I appreciate you being honest about that. That goes a long way. Off topic, how'd you end up shooting yourself? I know you say you shot your own foot. How'd you shoot yourself?
You know how you declock the magazine? I was trying to do that, but my thumb slipped and shot my foot.
Whose gun was that?
Tommy's gun.
That 22? Yeah, dude, we gotta get that gun off. So, Thomas, like we Eli, shot yourself with it.
That was like my first time being shot. I was in the car going, he was going back to my house.
Yeah? Whose car were you in?
Thomas's car.
So you shot yourself in Thomas's car? Shit.
And Eli helped me catch it. I don't know if it's getting better because I still feel a little bit painful.
Besides, it's good
How would the family know you say you're sorry?
I use my hands.
So may go a long way to so they lost their kid.
What's the fun? I'll tell you what the fun is. The fun is in
And it sounds like your family lost you too right now because you're facing some shit, right?
It's almost ironic that Chris told detectives he wanted Thomas's family to know he was sorry. But let's be real. He wasn't sorry that Thomas lost his life. He was sorry he got caught. But honestly, we shouldn't have expected anything better from a guy who somehow managed to shoot himself on the foot during the whole thing. Now, Chris might think getting arrested was the worst thing that could happen to him. But the real nightmare was waiting for him in jail. In April of 2022, while being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center awaiting trial for the murder and armed robbery of Thomas Nunn, Byers was violently attacked by fellow inmate Isaiah Garcia, Nunn's half-brother. Armed with a homemade shank, Garcia stabbed Byers more than 20 times, reportedly telling him, "This is for my brother." Byers survived the assault with relatively minor injuries and returned to custody the same day. Garcia was later charged with aggravated battery, possession of a deadly weapon by a prisoner, and tampering with evidence for the jailhouse attack. The murder case itself concluded years later. In March of 2025, Christopher Byers accepted a plea deal and pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and armed robbery for the killing of 16-year-old Thomas Nunn. In July of 2025, a judge sentenced him to 29 years in prison, with 9 years suspended on the condition that he completes 5 years of supervised probation after release. Although justice was eventually served, nothing can replace the loss Thomas Nunn's family continues to live with. Thank you for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out one of the craziest cases I've ever covered right here.